Good evening, everybody. This is Credit Talk Live. I am your host, Todd Stern. Tonight, for the next half hour, this is a live call-in show. What do we talk about? Credit. What is credit? That's a question people always ask. What is bad credit? What is good credit? Tonight, we're going to discuss it all. We're also streaming live on FaceTime Live. So check that out. Give me those thumbs up, comments, whatever you would like. If you have any questions regarding your credit reports, please give us a call right now at 312-738-1060 because the lines do fill up. And if you can't get through, our number at the Help Center is right behind us, 773-862-4000. We had several calls on the voicemail from our show last week. All kinds of questions from where do I get my credit report, what is a good credit score, and the number one question that we got was credit repair. Does credit repair work? So tonight we are going to dedicate this show to credit repair, how to fix your credit report, doing it yourself or seeking out professional help. Okay, so let's go right to the charts here. I've got a little presentation for you. So let's talk. Does credit repair really work? So there's many people out there that are very skeptical of credit repair. And when we get people calling us at the Help Center, we always tell them, you know, you've got to look for reputable companies, not some guy that's working out of his car. You want somebody with a real office where you can possibly go into, make sure they're licensed, you can check them out. Check out their Google reviews. That's what I always tell people. Listen, how many people go on Google and Yelp to check out a restaurant to make sure that the food is good? Why wouldn't you check out a credit repair company as well? This is some serious stuff, and you're looking to get your life back on track. So definitely use the review engines to look for good and bad comments. Another thing that you want to make sure is that they give you a contract, explain exactly what they are going to do for you. So that's very, very important. Go back here for a second. Again, there's a lot of companies out there. You know, give them a call. There's some good companies here in Chicago. I say if you're local, stick with somebody local. Obviously, again, if I'm looking for a carpet cleaner, I'm not going to call a guy in California to come out and do my carpet. I want somebody that's local, that possibly my neighbors have used, has a good reputation, and you can find them. And if you need to even go to their office, that is doable as well. Okay, another thing about credit repair is, and let me just adjust my little FaceTime Live here. What should you look for in a credit repair company? They're required to give you a written contract. So if a guy gives you one page and says, okay, fill this out and that's it, he's not in compliance. A good, legitimate contract could be anywhere from 8 to 12 pages long. Some of the things that you're looking for in these contracts are consumer statements, consumer disclosures from the federal government and the state. They're also required to give you 2 notices of cancellation. So what this means is that if you do sign up with a credit repair company and within the first 72 hours you're not happy with your decision, you can basically sign it and get a full refund. So you want to make sure about that. Another thing is that make sure that they have an office, which we discussed before, because a lot of people will say they're in the credit repair business, but then they're going to their job during the day. Another thing is look for a company that will review your credit report with you. So if you have a credit report, or there's some companies here in Chicago that will even do a soft pull for you and review it for you. And if they want to charge you big money to do that, say no, because there's companies that will do it for free. So that's really, really important. Make sure that they are legit. Find out exactly what they're going to do for you for your money. And, you know, if you feel comfortable with them, give them a shot. Let's go after, one other thing that I should mention to you is fees. Upfront fees are illegal. So if somebody tells you, okay, give me $500, I'm going to work on your credit report for 6 months, that is totally not in compliance. The FTC states in the Fair Credit Reporting Act that you basically have to charge month to month for a credit repair company. So again, no upfront fees. If a guy says 6 months, give me this, he's not in compliance. Those are the companies that get shut down, and I always suggest stay away from those companies. So look for the company that's going to review your report with you, give you a month-to-month contract, give you a contract that's more than one page, and make sure that there's things like power of attorneys in there, notices of cancellation, federal and state disclosures. And again, read their reviews, Google reviews, Yelp reviews. It's so, so important. So let's go back to my slide. How do they do it? I get questions all the time. How do these companies work? Well, what they're doing is basically they're using your legal rights. The Fair Credit Reporting Act says that your credit report must be 100% accurate. And meaning that if there are, say, you've got a credit card on there and it's showing you owe a balance, but you've closed this thing years ago and there's a zero balance. Well, that's inaccurate. The credit bureaus need to update that. If they can't do it properly, it has to be deleted. Collections, tax liens, judgments, whatever they might be, have to be 100% verifiable, and they must be 100% accurate as well. So if there's information in there that is not correct and showing errors, that has to be deleted. So again, you got to remember, I tell everybody, you got to look at your report once to twice a year. Make sure that it's 100% accurate. And there are ways, we've talked about annual credit report. That's free. The credit bureaus are obligated to give you one free credit report a year. I highly suggest that you take a look at it or give us a call at the Help Center. We can help you out as well. Can you do this yourself? Of course you can do it yourself, but do you really want to do it yourself? From what I know and my knowledge of being in this credit industry for the last almost 30 years, it's very time consuming. People, I always say, do you want to do your own tax returns or are you going to hire a professional? So always seek out professional people that can help you out in the situation, that know what they are doing and advise you yes or no. So that's very, very important. Plus, as we were saying, a reputable credit repair service can help you do something you may not be able to accomplish yourself, which we just discussed. I'm kind of getting ahead of the game here. So, skip that slide. Let's talk about credit scores. So, this is a very interesting slide. This credit score here, 797. Very good, it says. It's bordering on the line of 800, where an 800 is going to be excellent. But as I've told you in the past, basically anything over 740 is a great score. So I get people calling, they say they want to be 760, 780. It doesn't really matter. Just keep your score up and you get what you want. Let's go to our first caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
Good. And you, sir?
I'm doing real well. I wanted to first give you praise that my credit score in February was just over 600, and with your help now it's over 800.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm shopping for some insurance, auto insurance, and I'm just want to know what's the difference between a credit score and an insurance score?
Well, that's an excellent question, and there are a lot of different score models out there. So we'll get people calling us all the time, and they'll say that their score that they got from their credit card showed a 690, a 720, and then the mortgage broker pulls it and it's 650. Or they'll go to a car dealer. Car dealer scores are super high. They go 800, 850, but your mortgage score is not going to be that same. So there are several different scoring models. Plus, the three credit bureaus all use their own system. So what TransUnion has might not be the same as Equifax. So yes, there's an insurance score, there's a auto score, there's a credit for mortgages, there's score. So there's all different types. And so your score you're saying now is over 800? Did you say 800 or 7?
814.
That's amazing. That's great. Are you paying? And I imagine you're keeping your balances below 30%, which we talk to people. And another thing you should do, which I'm sure you're doing if you have that high credit score, you're not applying for 50 million credit cards.
No, I've had the same credit cards for about 15 years.
That's great, and that's what builds up credit scores. Length of credit.
Will applying for getting quotes on my auto insurance affect my credit score?
Well, it depends. There's also three different types of inquiries. That's an excellent question. There's the kind of inquiry that, say you go fill out a mortgage application or fill out a car. That's a regular inquiry. There's a promotional inquiry. That's when you get all these solicitations in the mail. That's how they find you. So a major credit card company is going to tell one of the credit bureaus, hey, I want people with credit scores of 700 plus. They get that. They're not going to get a full report, and that inquiry does not hurt you. Plus, there's an inquiry where your open credit cards will do an analysis on your credit just to make sure that you're on track, because what happens a lot, say you have a Chase credit card, and all of a sudden you're starting to go bad on the other cards, and say you had a $10,000 limit, all of a sudden Chase will see that, and they get a little nervous. They're going to lower your limit immediately, well, most of the time, and we've seen at the Help Center what happens is, say the guy has a $10,000 credit limit, and his balance is $9,000. Now they lower his credit limit to $3,000. So now he's way over the limit. He's going to get penalized because of that with his credit score. Plus, he's going to get fees from the bank card. So there's those three types of inquiries. Usually, when an insurance company does look at your credit, though, that type of inquiry does not hurt.
Okay. Well, thank you for all your help. Any people out there, call Todd and his staff. They do a great job.
Thank you very much for calling. Have a great day. So that's very interesting that somebody who called our help center and we pointed him in the right direction to get a high credit score. And it is possible. Is it going to happen overnight? No. We tell people all the time, you've got to crawl, walk, and then run. That's how you get good credit scores. So if somebody doesn't have credit scores, we always suggest, good credit. The easiest thing to do is get a secured credit card. Basically, all the major banks will offer that. So what a secured credit card is you would put, say, $500, $1,000 in an account. They're going to issue you a credit card, usually a Visa or MasterCard. And I always tell people, it's not for you to have a good time and go out and go to dinners and this and that. Yes, you can, but pay it immediately and keep the balances under 30%. But bottom line, it's going to show up on your credit report. You have to have open good credit to have a decent credit score. And for somebody that doesn't have trade lines on and then all of a sudden they put them on, you're not going to jump to a 720. It takes time to build up your credit scores. Okay, let's go to our next caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, how are you? Hey, now. Hey, so listen, about 6 years ago, I tried doing this credit repair stuff myself. I sent some letters out to some collection companies. I actually wound up getting 2 of the collections off. It's about 6 years ago. I looked on my report the other day. The collections seem to have been bought up by 2 other companies, and they're back on there. And at this point, I'm lost. What do I do?
Well, that's what can happen a lot of times. What happens with collections is that you might have ABC collection company has your collection. They give up after a while and say they paid 50 cents on the dollar. There's guys down the line that will pay 20 cents on the dollar for that collection, and they will go after it as well. Plus, they're going to report it to your credit bureau. So I always tell people if they're small, if they're small little collections, you should pay them. Or if they're not on your credit report yet, you get a notice from the collection agency, I would pay it immediately. That way it doesn't show up on your credit.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get nothing in the mail. I saw it show up on my report. So let me ask you this. If I go ahead and pay these guys, and I say, well, you got to take it off my report, will they do it?
Sometimes, but usually not. It depends if you can catch them in the first round. If you get a notice and you call them and you pay it, some of the companies will. Or if they've been sending it to the wrong address, that can happen as well. They might. But, we always tell people at the Help Center, the best thing to do is search out, professional help. You can even call us. We'll give you some guidance. It's kind of hard, sir, to really tell you what to do because I'm not looking at your report. But sometimes we've actually assisted and done three-way calls with them and helped, consumers they will pay their bills directly, and then we basically tell them the wording to say and see if they will get it deleted for them.
What is I'm going to have to call your center. What is that number?
It's right behind me. It's 773-862-4000. That is our helpline. You can call us tomorrow, or if you want, like I said, there's a voicemail on there. When I come in tomorrow morning, that voicemail is loaded with calls because there are some people that are watching the show that might not necessarily want to talk about their personal credit on TV, or they're amongst others. But again, feel free to give us a call on that line, leave your name and number, and we will get back to you. Thank you so much for calling. All right, we got another call, so let's go to that call. Hello, caller. Caller? Okay, so we must have lost him, so try giving us a call again. Back to credit scores. Let's just touch base on that real quick. What is good and what is bad? So, you know, it starts out the scale at 300. I've never seen a 300 on there before. I usually see mid-500s, and I have seen some over 800s. But, you know, again, if you can be in the 700 range, that's excellent. Keep it up, and again, there's ways of doing that. Let's go to our next caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good. And your question?
My question is, if you filed bankruptcy before and you got the judgment, 4 years later you got $4,000 almost in debt, do you, not that it's behind or the creditors are bothering you, everything is up to date, do you recommend a consolidation? I just want to be done with, just want to make one payment and be done with it, or should I just continue to pay like I've been paying?
Well,
I usually pay a little more than what the actual monthly requirement is.
Sure. The question is now this $4,000, this was after the bankruptcy, correct?
I can hardly hear you, sir.
So the $4,000 was after the bankruptcy you filed?
Yes.
Okay.
2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years after the bankruptcy.
And these are what, just credit cards?
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem, so what are you doing right now? You're just paying minimum balances?
Just a little over minimum.
Yeah. And are these credit cards open or closed now?
They're still open.
Okay. See, the only problem with going into consolidation type of program is that you're going to lose those credit cards. So that's one thing. And it's going to mess up your credit even more. So bankruptcies stay on your credit report for 10 years. Other negative information is 7 years. Now, you've been out of the bankruptcy for 10 years, and look, you were able to get credit because a lot of these credit card companies will issue credit to somebody that has had a bankruptcy because they know it's a good risk. Now, your credit limits might not be that high, but they start out low, and then as long as you pay on time, they will keep raising them for you. So your question, it's a tough question, you know. I'd be real careful with it because, again, you don't want to lose that credit with that company. And again, once you start going in these programs or doing some sort of negotiating with that credit card company, they are going to mess up your credit. And you are able to get new credit now, and you won't be able to. I think we have another call on the line. Hello, caller.
So could I finish?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were still on.
So would you suggest, say I took out another credit card and paid off all the debt and just had that one credit card?
If you can get a high enough rate, now there's a lot of credit cards out there where you will get the, 0% interest for 12 months. Now there is a fee to transfer the money, but if you can get that and come up with a plan and say, okay, I owe $4,000 divided by 12, my monthly payment's going to be X amount, and really stick to it and try to do it in 11 months. Because the problem is if you go over that 12-month grace period that they give you for the free interest, then all that interest from before is just going to hit you. So I would try to do that, but don't apply for too many cards because, you're only going to be able to, if you apply for too many, they're going to start seeing all those inquiries and turn you down. If you want, give me a call tomorrow at the Help Center. We can take a look at your report and I can point you in the right direction.
Is that the number on the wall?
Yes, and even feel free to leave a voicemail now, 773-862-4000. But yeah, before you jump into anything, I'll be more than happy to look at it for you and give you some good advice.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Very helpful.
Thank you very much. So that is a very interesting question, but before I touch base on that more, I know our lines are loaded here, so let's go to our next caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, I had a question. Does every single company report to the credit bureaus?
No, they don't. They do not. First of all, for a company to report to the credit bureaus, it costs them money. And it's a very time-consuming type of process. Even though they do it all electronically, when disputes come into the credit bureau regarding a certain company, now that the credit bureau sends it to ABC company and they have to defend it, and that takes man-hours and time. So even, listen, in Chicago, People's Gas, they only reported to TransUnion for many, many years. I think they might be on Equifax now, but for many years, just TransUnion. ComEd does not report to the credit bureaus because, again, it's a lot of work. So most major banks do report to all three companies. Now, people that go and get car financing at, a buy here, pay here type place, they're not going to report to the credit bureaus because, again, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of expense to do that.
So if I were to pay a bill late for one company, it may not show up on my credit report, but if I paid late for another company, it might show up on my credit report.
That's correct. So it all depends who is reporting to the bureaus. Again, now, if you're talking major banks, Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, all those, they all report to all three. But, the smaller ones usually don't. But you still, what we always say at the help center is try to pay all your bills, if possible, set up a budget, and just don't overextend. I know it happens, but we try to keep a balance and try to get down to a couple credit cards, major credit cards, because all those department store cards are going to cause you nothing but havoc. You're going to have, I've seen people with 10 credit cards on there. They get confused, they get lost, they travel, they don't pay the bill, and all of a sudden their credit's messed up.
Does it matter if you owe like $10 or if you owe $100? Does it make a difference on your credit report? Does it show up worse if it's $100 or is it a little bit less of a mark on your credit report if it's only $10?
So balances, here's when the balance is going to matter. Don't worry about the dollar amount. Worry about the percentage versus your credit limit. So to make it easy, if you have a $1,000 credit limit, as long as you keep that balance under $300, it's not going to affect your score. A $10,000 credit limit, it's $3,000. So $100, $10 is going to be the same. It's the percentage versus the credit limit. So again, we tell people all the time, don't go over that 30%. So that's really important.
So it's not going to show up on my credit report if my credit limit was $1,000 and I didn't pay a bill that was worth $20?
Oh, no, it will show up. It's going to show up as a late payment. Yes. I don't care if it's $1 or $10,000. If you don't pay on time, you're going to get a ding. And that's going to drop your score. I've seen scores drop, from one late payment, 60, 70 points in 30 days.
So it doesn't matter if it was $10 or $20 versus $1,000.
Oh, if you missed the payment, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that doesn't matter. It's just a late payment. So the dollar amount in that sense won't matter. You're going to get a late payment, and on a credit report, it'll show as a 30-day late. So, yeah, but if you're over the 30%, you're going to get double hit. So you're going to get hit on your score reduction for being over 30%, plus you're going to get that 30-day late deduction as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. I think we might have one more caller on the phone. We have about 1 more minute. Is there a caller there? Hello, caller. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm calling to see, does unpaid medical bills hurt your credit?
They definitely do. Can you turn your TV down a little bit too? So medical bills will definitely hurt your credit report. And number one thing we see on credit reports now is medical bills. You got to make sure that you pay those on time. It's really, really important to do that. So I do want to thank everybody for watching our show tonight. Again, the calls that did not get through, please call us right now and leave a voicemail, 773-862-4000. Now, a lot of people are here in Chicago watching us. A lot of people are streaming from out of state. So for our people here in Chicago, we hopefully will see this sign tonight in front of Wrigley Field. Cubs, we need to win. Thank you very much for watching the show tonight, and have a great evening. Thank you.